I'm actually going to put it out Saturday today because there's so much action, there's so much research to be done over the weekend. And basically, it's about 10 stocks that I follow throughout the week with the buy triggers, sell triggers, targets. When the triggers are hit, the alerts go out, get sent out, blasted out. When the targets are hit, the alert it turns yellow, they get sent out. And if stops get hit, they turn red or orange, and they get sent out. And this is the trade history of this last week, started on the 13th. So these are just stocks that I've have taken the position off the table. The portfolio is still active on the site. So just want to review some of the trades. So we're going to start off with the watch list stocks here. And again, a lot of these stocks are actually going to carry over to next week. The AIG, love AIG going into this week. The only thing we want to look for is a cross back above the 20-period moving average. This is, when I'm showing you these old videos, these buy triggers and targets and stuff are from last week's thing, just to show you how they're set up and stuff. Basically, I took this trade off the table. We actually got in a little bit earlier, and I locked in a dollar. Once we got over a dollar, I locked that in. Didn't want to give anything back. Actually pulled back a little, which I really like it going into this week. So I'm not putting it on the watch list with a trigger alert, but what I'm going to be watching intraday is for strength to come out on a 15-minute chart and actually a close above the 20-period moving average, and some activity in the stochastics, cross back up, and then I would probably be getting back into AIG. I think we easily push back up towards the 200-period moving average. This will turn into a 220 squeeze play, and from that point on, we're going to head higher. All right, so just first taking a look at that one. Again, AMD now, the AMD, AMTD and ANDE. Let's go off on these right now. AMTD is a great little wedge pattern. Again, you can put it on this week's watch list. It's probably going to run. There's actually a good article in Barron's came out today on AMTD, and everything is valid here. So the trigger 1560 is holding above the trigger. The target $17, which is a big target for this. Stop $15. So this one's still in play. Carries over to next week. ANDE. Again, this one also from the watch list last week. Buy trigger was 37.70. You can see why we got in this one. It was a very high probability setup, upper trend line, 50-period moving average, oversold stochastics. Everything pointed to a nice entry at 37.70. We moved up to 30. Well, we triggered 39, pulled back a little. We took, again, if you did take your profits on that, that's great. And again, a classic setup here. So ANDE did trigger and hit its target. BAC off the watch list. I actually like this a lot. The financials are very interesting on the pullbacks. Even though these channels broke out and we were able to get some nice channel breakouts and nice trades into this, these trades all become active again. These should all be on your focus list because this trend line, this downward trend line, is going to be another entry if we come back down to it and retest that downward trend line. It's going to be a beautiful level. So I'm going to put this one back on the list at $12.90. If we get a pullback around that $13, $12.90, I don't even know if we're going to get that far of a pullback. But I want to pay attention to stochastics on this. I think BAC is still a good buy on a pullback. BCSI, Blue Coat Systems. Sent this one out as a takeover play. Beautiful setup. We got in, and we got the volume. We got the divergence here. There was actually a nice liftoff. This alert went out. When did this go out? BCSI. Buy trigger was 21.70. So basically on Monday, when the alert went out, we triggered, ran up to $24, target $23.50, so very easy hit on that. Great trade. Next one, CMI, Cummins engine. This one's still valid. It's the 10 for 1,000, last week's 10 for 1,000 watch list. Buy trigger 84.70. It's trading at 85.14. Basically, it's a 1-2. It's actually pushing 52-week highs. Stochastics are embedded. Like to get that follow through on Monday to see it, see if anybody's holding that to get out of that at that level. DGX, I just want to review this one more time because I'm going to put this one back on this week's watch list. I like the consolidation. I think, the last trade we took off of this, great trade. We took it from, again, a higher probability setup, oversold stochastic, double bottom trend line. We took it all the way up here. Got out. Now it's consolidated. Now I feel it's about ready to pop this level here. So again, this will be on the next video with the buy triggers and stuff. DGX. that will a new watch list on that. EK, Eastman Kodak. Still in Eastman Kodak. Love the setup here. A move above $4 here. Watch a move above $4. Volume's been picking up. It's holding this little trend. It's it's a cheap stock. I know a lot of people like getting into cheap stocks. When it becomes a stock under $5 or a stock at this level, it's at this level for a reason. And you always have to have a little more caution in it. But at this level, I think the risk reward is pretty good. And just don't micromanage this. I would hold on to this until we saw some really weak, some definite weakness on volume, and it seems to be holding this trend. So, under that 350 area, I would get scared if it got down towards that 360, 365. I would, consider maybe taking it off. But I think we're gonna get above $4 on this, and I think we're gonna move right up to 5. So I like the EK a lot. Next stock, I'm just trying to roll through these because there's a lot of stocks to go over. ENTR. Again, this was intraday alert last week. Actually, the week before, but we actually then, issued another alert on the 10 for 1,000 watch list last week at 877. Target 99. It actually hit the target, and it's consolidating here. Continue to hold this. I'm continuing to hold this stock, looking for that ramp up now. Stochastics are starting to get showing a little divergence. Slight downward. Just a slight downward slope here. This price level just going sideways. We're just waiting on this one. ENTR. HRS, Harris Corp. We're going to run through it. Still very valid inverted head and shoulders pattern. Took this one off just because we had a little profit, and the stochastics got a little overbought here, so I just took it off. I feel there's better money spent somewhere else on that one. IDCC. Again, similar trade, took it off, a nice profit. This was a nice slanted inverted head and shoulders. Stochastics gave us a nice pop. This one, this was a high probability setup on the site, which means it's a multiple indicator setup, and you can see the action from this level. And again, these went out 5 days ago, so when these alerts went out here, these are the reaction from that's the movement from it. So should be out of that one, a nice profit. ITRI. All right, this was actually a kick-ass trade of the week last week, and didn't move. It didn't move. It didn't break out here. All right, so I would not be interested in it unless it got back above that 60.12 area, $60.12, $60.10. It hasn't moved yet. I'm still in it. It's just not ready yet. But once it gets back up towards that 60, another valid potential pullback here. We'll watch the stochastics. Just hasn't moved yet. ITRI. Monster Worldwide. Nice wedge pattern. You can see the wedge here. Again, we're looking for that break to the upside off of this. Not as valid as it was last week, and still up a little, but not something I'm loving going into this. Again, last week's pick. PSMT. Price Mart. I pushed this one over. We talked about this one Friday, as it's one of my best bets going into next week. Again, this is a very strong stock. Had some great volume on Friday. Going to look for that follow through on Monday, and if you're in it with me, looking to get out early next week on that pop. VeriSign VRSN. Again, another great setup. Very strong stock, consolidating and continue to grind up here. Target $32. We're close to that target right now. VRC and WDC hit his target. We were at a buy trigger at 20.26, target at $27. We'll move up to 27.50. Took it off the table, up against the 50-period moving average. Again, just lock it in profits. Continues to look okay, but again, there's better setups now on the new list. So looking very interested in doing that. And again, you can see some of the trade history from last week. We took GT, Goodyear Tires, off the table. GT, which was a longer term swing trade, and you can see the strength on this one. This really continues to look strong. Picking it up down in the 9s, and then just getting rid of it. What do we actually bought it at 10.12 and sold it at 11.13. So we got $1 on that. And then the Clorox, I'll say the CL. If you were in that last week, that was one of the better setups. and that was just a perfect trade. Perfect trade. Took it off. Still looks strong. I actually telling people now that we have this nice gap up here, up in that 79 area, and the momentum's, I think we have a little further upside. There's a possibility of a little further pullback, a little bounce, a little pullback. We'll probably put an inverted head and shoulders pattern here. Left shoulder, this is the head. We'll probably maybe a little pullback, and if we do get that pullback, I'd be looking to buy it again on a pullback. So these stocks are set up to continue to trade. What you do is you get your first trade, you take profits, you wait for your next setup, wait for the stochastics, wait for your indicators to set up, wait for the alerts to go out, take the next trade, and you continue to do this, and we continue to just move the money into the stocks that are being ramped up here. And again, the Clorox, SDS, we took a couple trades on that. The IDCC, we talked about that. BlackRock, AIG, COV was a good trade from last week. And again, this is going out for people who might be still in these. Again, this was an alert on the, I think it was two weeks ago we put this alert out, and there was a good, just a good downward trend line, slanted inverted head and shoulders pattern. Stochastics look good. We got the pop, we sold into it, and it's continued to hold up here. But again, there's a bunch better setups now in the market. Rovi is another one, ROVI, that we took last week. Actually, let me get rid of that. And I know, that was a fast little spike on that, and we took profits right into that, and you can see it pulled back aggressively after that. So again, that's just an old trade, just looking back at it. That was about that. And I'm going to probably cut it short here because I got to get another video out. But there's so many other good setups out there. I'll throw out a couple freebies for you. KRA going into next week. Love the setup. We pretty much got into this one on Friday and added to it. And now we can see the volume coming in. We're just about to break out. And looking for that follow through on Monday and Tuesday. Now on the watch list that's going to go out, we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 new setups, 9, 10, about 10 new setups. Some other setups are carrying over, and a whole new sector that I'm looking to move here, which is going to be good because this sector is pulled back nicely. So let me get that out. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm on the air every day calling out these stocks from 8:30 to 4. DayTradingRadio.com, a live video stream and webcast. So hope to see you in the markets.